home and
Oh, yeah,
I read online and it said you shouldn't do that. And I was like, oh my God.
Why would it say you can't do it?
Well, as part of my job, I would say the alcohol and the drinking.
And we were talking about getting engaged. We talked about it. And he was like, how would you like hate it?
We had like 7 or 8 different groups of friends, and I'm talking like some groups had like 12 people in, 15 people in. So that's what Eleanor was saying. She was turning around going, how is everyone here? All at the wedding party, all at this one stage. And I was like, oh yeah, what a coincidence. The heat is basically bad for the sperm, so the hotter it is down there, the more likely they are to get misshapen. I overheat, and when I was obviously doing drugs and drinking and stuff, I really need to change. And I feel 10 years younger now than I did 10 years ago.
You look 10 years younger. Kind of pregnancy came and went, so that was number 3.
So I thought what would be really funny is if I do a selfie with the baby in the pot. So I've got a picture on my I've got a picture of the baby going, this is you, like, and I was going to show the baby that, but obviously they didn't make it, so that isn't actually that funny, but it was funny at the time.
So it took 5 years, 3 miscarriages and 3 rounds of IVF.
Yeah.
And plus 50k later.
Something like that, yeah. Give or take, yeah.
And do you think your relationship would have survived if he was still on tour? Welcome to Under the Sheets with Tatiana, Ashbourne and friends, brought to you by Dirty Talk. I'm Tatiana Ashbourne and these are my friends. This is Jacky and Eleanor, everybody! Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
It's so good to have you here. I want to know a bit about you guys. So how did you meet?
Oof, Eleanor, go on. And you're going to be honest?
Yeah, I think...
How honest can we be on this podcast?
Oh, we want you to be fully honest.
Okay then, Eleanor?
God, hopefully our future child never watches this then. Because it's not
God, this is exciting.
It's not very romantic.
Yes, it is. I think it is.
Parts of it.
Yeah,
right.
it's not in a Disney way.
No, okay.
Okay.
So I was up in Manchester. I used to live there and I was up visiting some friends for a birthday, and I'd just been to Warehouse Project. She's like she's a big like rave basically.
Yeah.
And I got invited to the after party, and I didn't really want to go because my ex was going to be there and we were not on good terms, and I was like, this is not really my vibe, but I went anyway.
Yeah.
He was there with someone else. I was like, oh great, this night's just getting better and better, and I was like, I'm just gonna go and have a good time and like have a dance and like try and forget about this whole situation. And it really was a meet across the dance floor kind of vibes.
Oh,
like
true, like movie rom-com.
Yeah, so this bit is romantic. Yeah, so
I spoke too soon then.
Yeah, you said, hold that thought.
Okay. No, I think this bit's always a little bit hazy because it was at whatever time in the morning. It was well past midnight. Jacky kind of came and started dancing with me, and we danced and talked until it was about 11 in the morning.
Oh my God, wow.
Yeah, it was a proper after party, yeah.
But we bonded, not just over this, but we bonded over some substance that we were on that night.
Okay.
Yeah. And
well, look, let's be specific about this. Let me interject here.
Go on then.
We ran out of substances.
Okay.
And we had a friend who had some. Yeah. And I said, would you like to go halves on some of this? And we went, yeah, of course we would.
Yeah.
So anyway, we did, and our mutual friend went. Eleanor then, I'll finish the story. Eleanor then left the party.
No, you left. You were getting the bus back to Leeds, the mega bus.
So I can't even remember the story. Right?
No, you left, and I was like, oh my God, we've not exchanged numbers. Like, I just had that feeling. I was like, I need to see this person again. Like, and I was like, how am I going to find out who he is? Luckily, we had mutual friends. Yeah. So I stalked him on Facebook for a bit, and I was like, what is my reason for me messaging him? And I was like, right, well, we went halves on that, whatever we were, halving. I was like, I'm gonna go and ask him for that tenner. That's my in. That is my in. So that was my first message to him on Facebook Messenger.
Hi, lovely to meet you. Have you got that tenner from the other night? Or 15 quid?
15 quid, sorry.
15 quid.
Did that not give you the ick straight away? And they're like, right, I'm leaving that.
No, I was buzzing. I was like, yes, fair one. And also, I knew it wasn't about that. Like, I could just tell. I knew that was there's no way I'd ever message someone asking them for 15 quid. But yeah, that was a special night. That was 12 years ago?
Nearly 30.
Nearly 13
and
years
we did
ago.
long distance for a while.
We did long distance on Skype. Yeah.
So where was the long distance from? Well,
I was in Leeds at university.
And I was in Guildford.
So I got the megabus. Used to get the megabus from Leeds to Manchester because it was like £2.50.
Yeah.
So I'd get the megabus over, DJ in Manchester on a Friday, then went to the warehouse project that night, partied all the way through the weekend, then get the megabus back. And by the time I got home, I think Eleanor was like, you were back in Guildford at that time. So yes, you were in Surrey and I was in Leeds, so it was long distance. And we used to Skype for like 4 hours at a time, didn't we?
4 or 5 hours.
4 or 5 hours.
Every night.
And then we look back now, like, what did we used to talk about? Absolutely
And we'd
bollocks.
WhatsApp during the day as well, all day.
This really sounds like Gavin and Stacey. Have you watched it? You know where they meet from far away?
Yeah, a bit like that, but just with like an interject of, bonding over a bag of drugs, which is not the most romantic bit. But we have to be honest,
but it was kind of love at first sight.
It was, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And so tell me about your DJing, because you were a DJ are you still a DJ, or have you kind of done that?
No, I think that chapter's closed in terms of doing it professionally. At the time when I met Eleanor, I was an aspiring DJ, so I was at uni doing music production.
Okay.
Which is why when I came in here and saw the studio, I was like, oh, this brings back so many memories. Like all the cables and the sound system and the desk and everything. So yeah, I did music production, was a producer and a music producer and a DJ for 7 years. So I moved to London. Eleanor said, if you want to make this work, you've got to come to London and we can't do long distance.
Yeah.
That was 2014. So I left uni and got a job at the Apple store in Regent Street, which was the best and worst job ever. Because I was like, I'm working for Apple, what an incredible company.
Yeah.
But you work on a minimum wage. I was doing like 50 hours a week and pulling out just enough to pay my rent. It was 6 months in and I said to Eleanor, I can't do this. I can't do it at all. Luckily, I found another job for the 6 months and then I got signed to a big record label. And then I quit my job. It was like a film. I went in the next day. I was like, I'm fucking out of my notice here. I'm done. Yeah. And then 2 months later, I got this big release and then went professional. And they did it for 7 years, 7 years.
You smashed it.
Until lockdown. So I toured the world, played pretty much every country apart from Russia, which I'm not that asked about. But yeah.
That's insane. And how did it affect your relationship? Because obviously being a DJ means that first of all, you're always on a night shift.
Yeah, it's unsociable hours.
Secondly, if you're touring the world,
on the road.
And then especially with being in clubs that probably have other women in there. And was that ever a thing? Yeah, how did it affect it?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question. But for us, that was never. I mean, for me, I never felt that
You were the one on the road. I was the one at home.
Yeah, but also you. But you also. Yeah. So okay, let's rewind. From my perspective, because we had trust there, that was never.
It's never been an issue in our relationship.
Yeah, which is so good.
Ever.
Eleanor was never that worried, probably because I was never that good with girls. I seemed to be like, all right, speaking to you, but I would be up for 3 days and I was a bit.
You would never have, basically put it this way, he would never have gone to message me.
Yeah.
No.
He's just not
too shy.
You're not that sort of person.
So
not just that, just we have that level of trust.
Yeah.
But in terms of the unsociable hours and being away, that was difficult. I missed birthdays, anniversaries. I've missed weddings, our friends' weddings. I could never go out on a weekend for a meal. I was always I'd go to the airport on a Friday. I wouldn't be back till a Sunday. Sometimes if I did Australia and New Zealand, I'd be away for 6 weeks.
That was the longest you were away for, was 6 weeks.
I'd do New Zealand, Australia, Bali, like the whole thing. And that was tough to be away from each other and missing all the social events. But ask Eleanor, she was the one at home on her own.
Well, I think at the time we were living in London, and it was in a way a bit easier then because I had all my friends around me. I loved my job. My mum and my sister would come and stay with me quite a lot, you have to get used to it.
Yeah.
There's no other way around it. And the tours didn't happen too often, but it was when you missed out on stuff. It'd be just Eleanor going to the wedding,
I
sort of thing, or to a friend's party. But again, you get used to it. But I think when you stopped doing all of that, and we got to have proper time together, it was oh my god, this is like a normal relationship's supposed to be like, where you're together all the time, which we definitely prefer.
Also, it's one of those things that you realise that you don't spend much time together, but then when you are together, it's then you've got to actually figure out, do we actually like each other for this long period of time? Because that is also, it's like when people go to uni and spend years apart and then get together. It's actually like, oh, well, we've got to kind of figure out how we live together again, and you know what you've learned from being away and getting back together, I suppose.
100%, and that was quite a big learning curve, actually, suddenly having all this time together.
Well, we're in lockdown.
We had no choice.
We moved back from Manchester, which was a nightmare. Don't ask, we're not going to go into that horrendous decision. Moved back in was it November 2019? So this is just before 2020 and everything kicked off. I was moving back for 4 months, just 4 months, living with Eleanor's mum. So we were a married couple, living with Eleanor's mum for 4 months. So I would save all the money from the tours. I was going to South America, I was going to do Ecuador, I was going to do Australia, New Zealand, and I had this massive amount of money, which I wasn't going to have to pay rent, so I was staying with Eleanor's mum, and that was going to be the deposit for us to buy our first house.
We were ready.
3 days before I go to Ecuador, the lockdown just happened. So I literally lose all my revenue. I haven't got a backup plan. I'm a full-time DJ for 7 years. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm living with Eleanor's mum. I have no money. I have like $9,000 on a credit card in debt. I had no other prospects. I was just like, shit. And then we're obviously the question you just asked. We were then at home with each other, can't leave the house.
And your mum.
And my mum. Then my sister moved. My sister, because she broke up with her boyfriend. Oh god. And then we got a dog.
And then we got a dog.
Luna.
Yeah. So it was a huge learning curve, but I really think that us having to be together every day kind of changed our relationship in a massive way, didn't it? Yeah, because we didn't know what it was like to be with each other all the time, because I was always away, and we had this it was kind of a long distance relationship in a way, wasn't it? Because we did used to have that connection from WhatsApp calls or FaceTime in airports and hotel rooms. But then, I think it did us good, to be honest. Yeah,
no, for sure. And tell me about the proposal then.
Oh, the proposal.
Yeah, the proposal.
It was one of the best days of my life.
Really?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
we were at Secret Garden Party, which was an incredible festival. Yeah. The best festival I've ever been to. And Jacky had never been, and I'd been telling him about it, and it was their final year. And I was like, right, all of our friends were going, so many people we knew were going. I was like, this is going to be the most epic time ever. And on the Saturday of the festival, every year they'd have in this party in the woods. It was called the Labyrinth. It was called the Wedding Party, and they'd play the sort, not cheesy wedding music, but just easy dancing music. Yeah. And people would wear wedding dresses or top hats and stuff. And I was like, right, we're dressing up, and got all dressed up, and all of our friends were. At a festival, everybody kind of disperses because everybody's doing their own thing. I was like, this is amazing. Everyone's here. This is so great. And I don't know how long we'd been there for, but one of the guys who was DJing stopped the music, came on the mic and said, thank you for being here, for the last wedding party, we're going to go out with a bang, but first of all, we've got somebody who wants to ask a special question. And I turned to my friend, I was like, oh my god, what's going on?
This is so exciting.
This is amazing. And I turned around and Jacky was on one knee, and I was like, oh my god.
Oh my god, that's insane.
Yeah, the perks of
in front of all these, in
for
front
sure.
of hundreds and hundreds of people. Funnily enough, the night before,
that's terrifying.
We'd been lying in, because we glamped, and we were lying in our yurt, and we were talking about getting engaged. We talked about it, and he was like, "How would you hate for me to propose?" And do you know what I said, oh god, I'd hate it if it was in front of loads of people, because I get really embarrassed.
It's the worst. I was like,
I'd be happy just you and me. No. Don't do it like my dad did with my stepmom over a bowl of Weetabix kind of vibes, but not in front of loads and loads of people. I get embarrassed when people sing happy birthday to me. So,
and you didn't want to call it off. You were like, right.
No, I was like, we're probably going ahead now. All systems go. Everyone was organised. We had 7 or 8 different groups of friends, and I'm talking some groups had 12 people in, 15 people in. So that's what Eleanor was saying. She was turning around going, how's everyone here? All at the wedding party, all at this one stage. And I was like, oh yeah, what a coincidence.
That's so bizarre. Yeah, that's crazy.
That was a fun
I cry
day.
every time I see that video.
That was only a few days ago. You reshared it, wasn't it?
I did, yeah.
God, what a story though. How lovely is that? And then your wedding, was that just the two of you? Was that full? Was that another best day of your life?
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was. That was like a year.
What are you hesitating for?
Yeah, I'm a bit worried.
Well, I'm not hesitating, not because of that. Like, we don't need to go into it. Just like, you know, like sometimes with family, can make it a little bit stressful. Like,
again, it is a stressful time.
Well, both our parents are divorced.
Okay.
2 of them remarried, or 3 of them remarried, and just a few tensions, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Nothing to do with the actual wedding, but we did the wedding like a year later in London, Clapham Common. It was beautiful. It was the hottest day of the year, though. It was disgusting.
It was so hot.
Like,
it's my wedding photos, our wedding photos, there's some pictures where
sweaty.
I just look like death.
Yeah.
I've got this 3-piece suit on. I had really long hair then. It was like part of my brand. Long curly hair that came down to here.
Yeah.
And I remember like feeling the water coming, or the sweat just dripping through my hair. And I was like, just smiling. I'm like, get me out on the common. And everyone's clapping and cheering. And I'm like, oh, get me back in that venue.
Get me back in that boiling hot marquee.
Yeah, but it was an amazing day. But it was 31 degrees. And the place we got married, the reception, wasn't really apt for that many people.
No, we had about 70 people in the day and then about 120 in the evening.
Tiny place.
Yeah.
It's like the inside was small, but then they had this massive
Beautiful
outdoor garden. But at a certain point, the DJs, obviously, because I had some DJ friends came down, but at a certain point, they have to stop the music outside. But we wanted music, right?
Yeah.
Bring it in.
We've got a wedding of DJs there.
Yeah.
So we're like, to get all those people listening to music, we have to close the doors, bring the decks inside, and it was like, you've seen like the old 70s, 80s raves where everyone's climbing the walls. It was like that. It was amazing. But I was in my mid to late 20s. I was fine with it. But now the thought of being that many people in that heat, it's crazy. But it was a great day.
And so you no longer do raves or go out for. No.
Not like I used to.
Oh,
actually.
hold on a minute, actually.
No,
you had a little jaunt recently, didn't you?
I had a jaunt. There's nothing wrong with it every now and again.
You're once a year.
Once or twice a year. I've got a very, very good friend. I'll mention him, right? His name's Ash. Yes, big up Ash.
He loves to party.
He's one of my best friends, and he loves to party. But I've got to avoid him.
Yeah.
I've got to avoid him like the plague because he is a professional go-outer. He loves the rave. And every time I see him, that's what we do. But I can't do it too many times because what I do now in my like business life, I can't function when I've been out the weekend before. It takes me a week to get over it.
You got ill, babe. You were literally ill for a week.
Yeah, but it was nothing to do with going out. That was just I picked something up on the tube or I picked something up.
Yeah.
All right, okay, but maybe it was. But anyway, I do go out every now and again, but I limit it and I pick my moments. Once or twice a year is enough.
I do not.
Eleanor does not.
Especially now, obviously.
Yeah.
But no, I've left that lifestyle behind a long time ago. I like the smaller things in life these days.
Yeah, no, I completely get that. Now, let's go on to your journey of having a baby. I mean, how exciting. 6.5 months, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, that's congratulations to the both of you.
Oh my God, I've never heard it like that, months. I've always said weeks. It is actually 6.5 months.
It is 6.5
That's mad.
crazy.
It's flown over, hasn't it?
Mental.
It is flying over.
But what a journey it's been. So it took 5 years, 3 miscarriages and 3 rounds of IVF.
Yeah.
And plus 50k later.
Something like that, yeah. Give or take, yeah.
And so originally, what was your kind of thought process behind a family? What were you expecting?
You could go for this one if you want.
Well, we didn't decide. We decided to start trying for a family, obviously, when we moved in with my mum. Just before lockdown happened, that seemed like the sensible time to start, I think, because we were like, well, why not? We're going to buy a house. We're adults now. Let's, go for it. And I think you automatically kind of think, or we certainly did, it will just happen straight away. I'll come off the pill, been on the pill since I was 16.
Yeah.
You can have sex anytime, didn't know anything about ovulation, nothing. Like time windows, just like, right, well, obviously you just have sex and like hope for the best and it happens, right?
Yeah.
And after nothing happening for 12 months, when we were like, okay, so probably time now to go and see the doctor. That's what they say, basically. Go see a GP. So we did that. Had some very, very basic blood tests. Everything was fine. And Jacky, you had a very basic... Did they give you a sperm test from the GP?
Analysis,
yeah. And everything apart from one area was fine.
Yeah.
And it was just...
What was the one area that wasn't okay?
It's called morphology, which is basically how the sperm is shaped. So they might have misshapen heads or
two
tails.
Heads.
Okay.
Or two heads, you know, like completely misshapen. And the minimum for that, the minimum average is 4%. And mine was 1. It was like basically at the very bottom. So anything over 4% is good. That was 1%, or less than 1%. So it was really bad. But the doctors were like,
it just takes one sperm.
Yeah, you've got millions.
Yeah,
it only takes
so
one, so it's fine. But there's got to be we were like, there's got to be a reason why that number's that.
Yeah,
why is it
that's
that?
low.
But the way they categorize it, it's a kind of blanket like term. It's like, okay, you only need one sperm. It's
Just
fine.
keep trying,
keep
basically.
trying.
For sure.
It will happen if you keep going. So, like, okay, right, we'll try that. But, you know, you just know in your gut, I was like, something's not right. Like, I'm going to do some more digging.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of led us into our, like, first investigations with... I was speaking to an acupuncturist, and he was actually the one who suggested speaking to Jacky properly about, like, his, you know, a lifestyle of, you know, drinking every weekend, doing drugs every weekend, poor eating, not exercising it's going to take its toll, right? Yeah. I'm not saying that it was just that, but it definitely played a part in it.
Yeah.
And that was something which Jacky really needed to get to grips with, was totally basically overhauling his lifestyle. So we saw a specialist for men, they're called urologists, and found out he had a few issues, needed some surgery for something called a varicocele. Do you want to talk about your varicocele?
I'd love to talk about my knackers, yeah. So basically a varicocele, it's a varicose vein, so it's a build-up of blood vessels around where the sperm are generated.
Okay.
So heat is really bad for sperm. That's why when they might say, some specialists say, don't wear boxers.
Don't go in a sauna.
Don't go in the
baths.
sauna, jacuzzis, all that stuff, because the heat is basically bad for the sperm. So the hotter it is down there, the more likely they are to get misshapen.
Wow.
So that score is related to the heat. I overheat, and when I was obviously doing drugs and drinking and stuff.
And your wedding day.
And the wedding day probably destroyed a lot of them.
You're not anymore.
Oh my God,
you were always such a hot. You were a hot
6-7 years ago, if I was sitting here with you, I'd be melting, beading sweat.
Really?
Yeah, it was really bad.
You used to eat outside because you couldn't eat inside.
My mum used to make us eat me Sunday dinner outside with the cat because she couldn't look at us.
Because you were sweating so much.
Because I was sweating that much. She's like, I can't look at you, go and stay outside.
No way.
Yeah, take your plate and
God.
fuck off, yeah. But yeah, so basically the varicose vein had to get removed, but you have to go and have an operation. So I went to a clinic in London. They just numb you from like that area.
Yeah.
They go in through a vein in your leg. It goes in your leg. They put a really thin wire all the way through this vein that goes all the way to your testicle.
Yeah.
And then they basically freeze or put a chemical into the vein, and it kills the vein, or the build-up of veins. The only way I can describe the feeling is like, you ladies won't understand, but the men in here will. It's like being kicked in the balls with no protection, and it lasts for 40 minutes. 40 minutes of like that pain, but it gradually just gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And it lasts for like 30 to 40 minutes, and then it dies down for 30, 40 minutes. And then like, did they say 3 months I have to like just take it easy, no vigorous exercise and stuff. But basically, sorry, I'm not going to digress too much, but that's the varicocele that I had.
And then that's like, you're not even allowed to have sex for those 3 months.
No, they said you've got to be careful for the first, I think it was like 8 to 12 weeks.
Yeah.
No sex, and then after that, the peak for trying is 8 months, which probably brings us on to the next part, which is the first round of IVF, right?
Yeah, so one vital thing that we missed out was that you had a special test, which not that many people know about. Yeah. It's called a DNA fragmentation test, which is basically to check the DNA of the sperm. And Jacky had really high DNA fragmentation, so his sperm they weren't great.
They were frazzled. Well, talking about the morphology, the normal forms, which was 1%. Well, because of that, they'll go into the sperm. They do analysis tests. They'll go into the sperm head, And you know the double helix of a DNA fragment? You know, They go into the DNA fragment or the DNA double helix, and they see the strands and they see if they're broken. That's what this test does. There's a company called Test Him who helped us find this test. So anyone who's listening to this who potentially wants to get this test, it's called a DNA fragmentation test. And Test Him Limited. So
overlooked.
Yeah, it's completely overlooked, and it's very expensive for people to do. And Test Him are trying to give people access to these tests. But yeah, basically that we had that test. The DNA fragmentation said it was high. You need to have a varicocele. From the next test that I had the varicocele.
Change your lifestyle.
Change my lifestyle. Change my food, diet, exercise. You know, not going in the sauna. Loads of things changed.
But you did a lot. Yeah, talk to me about your change. Like that must have been really difficult to then from no exercise to loads of exercise to taking drugs to then not taking drugs. Like, was it something that you were kind of? Was it an addiction to alcohol and drugs, or was it just it was just you were partying a lot?
Well, it was part of my job. I would say the alcohol and the drinking. Like, I turned up to a gig. You know, because I came here, you guys have got the most incredible green room, right?
Yeah.
The green room when I turn up to my gigs, I'd have like, my rider was a bottle of Patron Silver, a bottle of Grey Goose. This is just for me, right?
Wow.
With people come and drink it, but like this is 6 bottles of Budweiser. Like it was just unlimited drink, right?
Yeah.
And there was an after party. It's just free booze. But I would say I was probably for some while addicted to ketamine. Like ketamine was my heal for sure.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where like I'd turn up to the shows and the promoters would just know I was coming and they just have it from me like there.
Yeah.
So it was just this like enabling behaviour where you're in this industry where drinking and doing drugs is just like enabled from the top down.
Rock and roll, isn't it?
It is a little bit like that. The managers, the agents, the promoters, they're all doing it and they're all just like enabling each other. But I think the change for me was it needed to happen. I was just speaking before about coming in here about like the change from lockdown into before lockdown and then going into lockdown. I had to look in the mirror and realise that literally looking in the mirror and seeing like the bags.
You were a different person.
That was great. I mean, if you see pictures of me before, I'm not unrecognisable.
Yeah.
But I needed to change, and I think that was the catalyst. Really, like looking in the mirror and realising that I need to change. And then obviously when we started trying for children, it was like, oh no, I really need to change. And I feel like 10 years younger now than I did 10 years ago.
You look 10 years younger.
I do. I looked at some pictures of me after I gigged with fans. You know, fans will come up and go, can I get a picture? And I looked at pictures on Facebook, they're popping up, and I'm like, oh my God, I look like I'm dying. And I'm not exaggerating. I look like I'm dying. So, yeah.
But then for you at home, that must be hard watching. Like, did you know that there was a problem thinking, this is a bit, you know, he's doing this a bit too much?
Yeah, definitely. And it did clash a little bit because I didn't want to go out. I didn't go to his... In the beginning I did, and then I wouldn't really go to his gigs because I don't want to go out. I don't. And I also like that's just not my lifestyle anymore. But yes, that's definitely something we clashed on a bit. But you know, I'm not naggy. I never have been.
No.
Always been like you do what you need to do.
Yeah.
But I think when it came to like us needing to change for us to like have a family, it was like. You need to sort yourself out.
Yeah, we did though, and it was what I needed.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So go on, tell me about. So it was 8 months later. That's where we.
Oh yeah, then it was like right. We were told you need to have IVF, which was nobody wants to hear that, right?
Yeah.
We're like okay.
That was tough.
I'd had another procedure as well. I'd had like my fallopian tubes flushed and with dye, and then they X-ray you, all clear. As far as I was concerned, or how they were looking at me, was everything was fine.
Yeah.
So we did our first 2 rounds of IVF. I won't say the clinic actually because they were shit. Didn't feel looked after particularly. But we did our first round.
And do you naturally have to do 2 rounds of IVF?
No,
or is it just you do as many as you kind of?
No, so we did our first round in September of 2022. I got 9. Was it 9 eggs?
9 eggs.
I got 9 eggs. Out of those 9, we got 3. Was it 3 embryos or 2? 2 embryos.
We got 2 that went to blastocyst.
2 that were well enough to use, and so they put 1 inside of me, and then 1 in the freezer for if we wanted to use it another time. So I did that. Had like the horrible 2-week wait where you're waiting to basically see if it works. And that's the first time in my whole life I'd ever got a positive pregnancy test. So obviously, absolutely over the moon. Like best. What was it? 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Before, I just remember I just woke up one day and I just felt different.
Yeah.
Not in a good way. I was like, something feels... I was like, honestly, the only way I can describe it was like, I feel empty.
Yeah.
Something isn't right. And I had a pregnancy test in the cupboard. It was like a digital one. And Jacky was in bed still, so I did it without him, which was a terrible mistake. Definitely should have waited for him to come and be with me, and waited for 3 minutes, which felt like forever. And it flashed up, not pregnant. So obviously, like, lost my shit, ran upstairs, hysterical, called the clinic. They were like, come in straight away. Had a blood test and did a urine test there, and they were like, basically, you're having something called a chemical pregnancy. Like, you were pregnant, but it's for whatever reason. There isn't always a reason. It's not sticking, basically. And that was it. Then it was like, just go home and we'll talk in like the next few days. And yeah, that was very surreal. Like that moment in time, just like going from being like up here to like just like us. Sorry, they're kicking. It's like so reassuring when you're, especially when you're like talking about something like that. And what followed was like some of the like darkest months of my life, and I was really not in a good place. Also having announcements of like, I remember my best friend, finding out my best friend was pregnant. We would have been pregnant at the same time. Yeah. Like lots of horrible, weird emotions to navigate. So we did Christmas and whatever. And then we were like, by the new year, we were like, right, let's do a frozen transfer with our other embryo. So in February 2023, I had the other embryo transferred. Same thing happened again. And
what's the likelihood of that happening? Do you know any stats that there's a percentage of this happens a certain amount of time?
No. It's do you know what? IVF is such a like numbers game, but also, and I'll come on to it, like the extra investigation I did, which probably explained why they didn't stick. Yeah. So we were like, right, we're parking this. I need to do some more investigation. I know something's not right. Something is going on, and I'm going to find out what it is. That was like my life's mission, basically. So did loads of research, talking to different people, and ended up going to this clinic in Epsom, and they specialise in recurrent miscarriage. Had my consultation, had loads of blood taken, like 10 vials. They were going to do like however many tests on my blood. And when I went in for my results, which Jacky couldn't come with me because he had COVID, so my first groundbreaking bit of news was I have an immunity disorder.
Right, okay.
I have something called... I have really high levels of natural killer cells in my body. Wow. And they basically attack any foreign body. I very rarely get ill. I have basically a super immune system. But it also means they attack things in your body that they shouldn't, like an embryo.
Yeah, like an embryo. Wow, that's fascinating.
So then the doctor was asking me some other questions, and he said, I want to give you an internal scan. I think you have something else, but I want to check. Scanned me, bearing in mind, I've had 2 rounds of IVF, seen other doctors, and no one's thought to ask me this. Straight away, he was like, can you see on your ovaries this like perfect, it looks like a pearl necklace on both ovaries. I've got polycystic ovaries.
Oh my goodness. And how that didn't come up though previously?
They didn't look for it.
No.
It's just...
No.
And so that changed everything. Like how I ate. Like I have a good diet anyway, but I went gluten-free, refined sugar-free, basically anything anti-inflammatory. I had to go on special medication. I also needed special treatment for the natural killer cells, which then led us on to our next bit of treatment that we did called superovulation, which is basically these tablets you take to force your body to grow loads of eggs. Yeah. So you've got more of a chance to try and conceive. The first time it worked, but again, very fleeting kind of pregnancy came and went. So that was number 3. And then, I know. So we did that for 4 months, and every month they kept upping my dose. Now this medication that they give you, it's actually, they use it for women who've got breast cancer. It's to help to stop or to do with the estrogen in your body.
And so when you're taking this, are you feeling unwell
Shit.
with it?
Unhinged.
Like
Yeah, very much so. But by month 4, I had a horrible reaction to this drug, and I was the most ill I think I've ever been in my life, and I ended up in hospital for 2 days on a drip with severe oral thrush. I had like sores all over my mouth, inside my mouth.
Wow.
I was very, very poorly, wasn't I, Jacky?
Yeah, you were
very, very
morphine.
poorly.
As soon as you went in, they took one look at you and they were like, get us some morphine now. And then you were in hospital, for 2 days. And I was like, that's when we realised what.
That was the first time I think I was like, what
are we doing?
How far are we willing to go to have a baby? Like, I'm severely unwell in hospital, like from like a reaction to some medication. So we left it for a bit after that. We wanted to like go and have the following year. So what year was that? 2025? Last year.
2024.
Was the year of, we called it the year of the trip. We were like, let's just go and travel. We did do a little bit of another treatment, which is called another tablet called Clomid. Didn't work. Oh, I also had another surgery as well, didn't I? I had my laparoscopy.
We've literally
What's
got...
that?
Go on, Eleanor, you explain. Laparoscopy.
So you're on general anaesthetic and they basically blow up a balloon in your tummy to like check all your organs and basically go into your womb to see if you've got endometriosis, which I had a little bit of. Yeah. They scraped that out. I had a polyp in my uterus, which they got rid of. Nothing like... Super.
It wasn't an answer, was it? It wasn't like the answer.
It wasn't the answer we were
hoping
looking
we're going to come
for.
out of there and be like, oh, you've had loads of endometriosis.
Yeah.
We've removed all of it.
You're
going to be sweet.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't that.
No.
Yeah, it's so... I know it gets to a point where you kind of just wish something was wrong with yourself.
That's exactly
like
the
you
whole
really
point,
just think, I wish something would come up.
As odd as that sounds.
Yeah. No, I totally get it.
And
well, not really, but yeah.
It wasn't until like after... It was last year. Got to sort of after the summer and we were like, right, I think it's time to think about doing IVF again. I think I'm ready. Like it
takes a lot out of you.
It's like it's traumatizing, it's draining. It's also really, really expensive because we didn't qualify on the NHS for anything.
Right, okay.
Nothing. Everything we've paid for privately, minus a few blood tests right at the beginning of our journey. We just don't, the NHS don't cover it.
Yeah.
And because I was over 35, I'm basically considered put out to pasture. So,
well,
yeah.
All bent.
Yeah. Thanks, babe. And that's when we found our new clinic, New Life in Epsom, who were absolutely amazing. They also do the treatment. Not all clinics will treat you for natural killer cells, and they did. And we did our treatment in January, started our treatment in January. And then got our positive test in February.
God, that's incredible. So tell me about that feeling. Where did you do the test? It was again in your bathroom?
No. So this clinic, they were very, very different. They basically, I had to go in really early in the morning on the day they asked me to go in. They said, do not test before at home, do not. I was like, that's fine, I'm definitely not going to.
Yeah.
They take your blood and then you have to wait.
Oh God, that's
we'll call you
the whole day.
We'll call you in the afternoon.
Yeah,
It's like... So we went for a coffee afterwards. Jacky was like, "What do you want to do today?" And I was like, "Honestly, I want to go and have a spa treatment, and I want to go for a fucking really nice lunch somewhere." But I think I do. At that point, I think we knew.
You knew.
I'd had that feeling three times before. I knew.
Yeah.
I also weirdly a few days before had asked Jacky if we could have a Chinese, and I don't eat Chinese food. I hate it.
It's so out of character.
I hate Chinese food. He was like, I think you're pregnant. I was like, I think I am too.
But then I suppose you'll be so pleased that you are pregnant, but then also be shitting yourself thinking about how long is this going to last?
No, completely. That is completely correct. Like, that's how I felt for, I didn't tell you, but like for a couple of weeks, months. I was like,
months.
When is Eleanor going to wake up and I'm going to hear that scream again? I'm going to hear that she's done a test, and we have to go into the clinic and they have to tell us again that it hasn't. And then that feeling doesn't go away. It has now.
It has now.
It has now with 26, 27 weeks, but that lasts
didn't for a long time.
And so what's the aftercare like? Are they monitoring you a lot now? Is that or
not anymore? Like, so when you first find out, which you find out by the blood test, which you then have to do again 2 days later to check it's progressing, which is terrifying. Waiting for that call was worse than the first, actually.
Yeah.
And then you go in for a scan at 7 weeks to see if there's a heartbeat. terrifying.
You see it, it's like a jelly bean. It's like a jelly bean on the screen.
A wiggling jelly bean.
It's like a few pixels going brr, brr, brr,
That's
brr. It's so crazy.
And then you go in 2 weeks later at 9 weeks to check that the fetus is growing, and then you graduate and you go to the NHS. And
God, what a feeling. That's amazing.
But until we were past 12 weeks was quite nerve-wracking.
Awful.
I was just constantly on ChatGPT like, is this normal? Should I feel like this? Oh my God, I've done this. Have I destroyed my chances? Am I going to kill my baby?
Oh, I've eaten a spoon of tiramisu, it's over. Had raw egg, oh, it's done. Remember that tiramisu? You're like, oh my God, I shouldn't have tiramisu. After one bite. Then at home the night, oh my God, tiramisu, raw egg, brandy.
Considering we were in bed and we're being very open about everything, about that it's not embarrassing, but I was embarrassed to tell you.
What?
Because I read online that I shouldn't have done it. I masturbated at home, and I read online and it said you shouldn't do that. And I was like, oh my God.
Why would it say you can't do it?
I don't know. This was when we just had the transfer. It was the 2-week wait, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we don't know, because obviously we've had problems with the embryo embedding, right?
Yeah.
So Eleanor,
I ChatGPT'd it and it said, do not. I was like, oh my God, I've this is it. I've ruined it. I was crying.
Was it a good masturbating session though? Was it worth it?
It wasn't until afterwards. And then I read and I was like, shit, I'm going to read about this and just check that this is okay.
And what was your sex life during the whole IVF situation? Was it very much you were just like, I don't want sex at all? Can you have sex? Can't you have sex? What was your sex life before, and what's it like now as well, being afterwards?
Do you want me to start with that one?
Yes.
Well, I mean, we'll go back a little bit.
Before IVF.
So, like, let's see if we can go, like, when I was on the road, I was away so much, right? And because my lifestyle was
not
shit.
Possible.
My libido was, like, really shit. We were shot to bits. I was drinking too much, all the things I was doing, which, lack of sleep, putting things in my body I shouldn't, all that stuff, late nights.
Yeah.
It just affected my libido and it was really shit. And then as I started to look after myself, my libido was coming back slowly. But as we started trying for children, because it was pretty much straight away after lockdowns, we started trying. It was difficult at first because I was still kind of in that whole old headspace of I've got a shit libido. Then we started to get it back. But as the time went on, the pressure of having to perform in this, we call tiny window. You have a tiny window of opportunity in Eleanor's cycle, or the women's cycle, where the egg releases and you've got like 24 hours or less to get it on that spot. Yeah. So then it gets to the point where you're looking at loads of apps, which is like, this is when I'm going to ovulate, this date, this is when we have to have sex between this hour and this hour. And it gets every single month. If like some months I couldn't do it, I'm like, look, sorry, I'm fucking freaking out. And some months I'd be like, I'm really sorry, this isn't happening.
And then we fall out.
And then we fall out, and it would make it worse. And the next month, it was like, oh my God, I can't fuck up this month. And then I'd fuck up again, because I'm I'm freaking out about last month. So to answer your question, the pressure of trying for children when you want it so badly, it has a massive effect on your sex life, for sure.
But probably you going travelling in the time between IVF, that was probably such a great decision to go away and relax a bit and go
100%. Let our hair down massively. A little bit. It did, but it's difficult because even when you're trying not to think about it, it's always in the back of your mind. You can't help it. You're always kind of thinking like, oh well, maybe it will happen this time. Yeah. And you try, and it's really difficult not to think of your life in those. It would be like 2-week slots, right, so this is the 2 weeks leading up to me ovulating, or I've ovulated and it's now the 2-week wait of finding out if I'm pregnant or if my period's going to come. And that is basically how my life was.
And that week, those weeks, that explanation, the first week after Eleanor's when Eleanor's obviously came in a period when it didn't work, I was relaxed because I was like, I don't have to do this week. And the week after that, I was like, okay, I'm calm. But as it got closer to that ovulation window, I just got tenser and tenser. I'd wake up and I'd go, fuck, I've got to get this right this week. And like that, for me, my mental health struggled massively. And that became between me and Eleanor as well, because this pressure was just like, as much as it was like, it's such a paradox because it's something that we want so badly to do together to start a family, but it's pulling us apart at the same time. And our sex life went from like, when it was just like so rocky for years, wasn't it?
Up and down.
And then through IVF, were you allowed to have sex?
No, you're not. You're not.
Nada.
You're not allowed to. Which, to be honest, that's the last thing that I was wanting to do was have sex, because you are literally like a bloody basket case.
Well, you're pumping yourself with hormones. You're doing 3 injections a day.
I was on drugs until I was 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow.
But since being pregnant, it's like better than ever.
Sex has been great.
Because there's no pressure.
There's zero pressure.
Amazing.
And we're not trying to have children because but also, let's be honest, as you're getting a little bit
Go on, say it.
down the...
What's that?
No. A little bit further down the line. No, I'm not saying it. No.
What do you call me?
I do not say that.
Large lady?
I never called you a large lady.
Big mama?
Big mama. I do. But you know I mean it with love, right?
Yeah, it means in the sexiest way possible.
Yeah, in the sexiest way possible. At the start, there was almost like this period where at the start when we had the embryo transfer, you're not allowed to, because when you freaked out about your little play, there's that period where you shouldn't do that.
Did you just do a hand gesture?
Yeah, like a little, little play, and then you couldn't. Then our sex was like, oh, this is fucking awesome, and it felt like we're like fucking like when we first met, and then now it's starting to slow down a little bit because you are getting more pregnant, my love. It's just a fact.
Yeah.
Come on, fucking hell. Yeah. Let's be honest.
I'm getting a bit more slow, and I've got.
And you're tired, and you got a bad back and stuff. Like I understand that.
But then, so in IVF, talk to me a bit about, for people that don't know exactly what IVF is. So it's your sperm and your egg, and they put it in a little...
Like basically like a petri dish.
Yeah.
You assume everyone knows what it is, but of course, like not everybody does. So IVF is... first of all, we'll start with the women. You're taking drugs for about 12 days usually. Yeah. Sometimes more. And that is to basically get your eggs like primed and plumped. And then when it is very specific on the timing, like on say 12, for example, you're told to take this called a trigger injection, and you have to take it at a very specific time. So you inject yourself, and then exactly 36 hours later, you then go back into wherever the clinic is, and you're put under general anaesthetic or very heavily sedated, and they go in to not your uterus, to where your eggs are in your ovaries, and they basically suck them out with this like catheter thing. Wow. And they go into all of the little where the eggs are on the follicles, and just see how many you've got, and then you come round, you find out how many you've got. The man will have given his sperm sample, or if you're using a sperm donor, they'll use that.
It's the hard job.
That is, and they either put them in a petri dish together. Yeah.
It is. It's different. It's probably the hardest job in this whole thing. We're going to sit in a cold room.
Yeah, do you get a magazine or?
No, you don't. It's not like you would imagine. No, it's just a cold spare room they have next to the toilet.
That's awful.
Yeah, it's horrendous. But sorry, carry on with your bit.
So you either put the sperm in the petri dish, and with the eggs, and they do their thing. But we needed a bit of extra help, so they actually they wash the sperm in this weird machine, and it picks out the best sperm, and they literally put it into a syringe, and they inject the sperm into the egg. So that the sperm doesn't even have to do anything. They just put it in there. It's called ICSI.
It's called ICSI, I-C-S-I, yeah. So they literally inject it. There's videos where you can see them doing it. They've got this microscopic tools, and it has an egg, and they put this needle, and it kind of sucks it in, and they put this one sperm in there. So it's like, it's selected, hand selected. And then you have the lovely wait of, you've got to wait basically you wait overnight to see if any of them fertilised. Yeah. And then if they did, you have to wait to see, they basically have to like divide. And part of our package was having this special camera on the embryo. And so we've got it of the baby, of it starting as an embryo, and you can see all the cells dividing.
Wow.
And time lapse.
Yeah, time lapse.
That's incredible.
Over 5 days. And then they call you and they're like, right, you need to come in. And I think that was so amazing from this round. We had 10 eggs. From 10 eggs came 4. Was it 4? Were 6 were viable, and out of those 3 sort of started maturing. But then by day 5, there was we just had the one.
Wow. So we only had one chance.
We just had one chance.
And this is that. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So nothing in the freezer. We don't have there was nothing to do, and we've decided, like, that's the end of our IVF story. We wouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
No, we're done. Can't do it again.
But would you recommend for other people that are trying to get pregnant and can't, would you recommend IVF, or is it something that you'd even be like, you know what, I wouldn't even do it, just like either adopt a child, or, you know, what was did you ever think about adopting?
It's personally not for us.
Yeah.
It's not the process I wanted to do. I mean, there's so many different options these days. You can have sperm donors, you can have egg donors, surrogacy. But yes, I do. I think we wouldn't be where we are without IVF. But I think what I do really recommend is being able to do that. Find out more first.
Yeah.
Because I think if we knew about my PCOS and all these other things early on, we would have saved ourselves time, money, heartache.
Yeah.
And you know, that's a difficult,
sure.
That's a difficult pill to swallow sometimes. I don't think about it so much now, but you know, it's disappointing. I feel like we were let down along the way, having not had the diagnosis sooner.
For sure.
This is the reason we've actually launched our new project this week, which is
so that's what I want to go on to.
Oh, did you? Sorry, I jumped the gun a little bit.
No, this is good.
Yeah, so based on everything Eleanor has just said about all the missteps we made or things we didn't know and the education we learned in the kind of the wrong times, like for example that PCOS diagnosis in year 3, we already had 2 miscarriages. We started a project called Aloomah, and it's an online fertility community where people can come, they can listen, they can share anonymously or
whatever stage they're at.
Yeah.
Whatever stage they're at, whether they're thinking about trying and don't know anything or want to learn some stuff, or if you're in the thick of it and you need to know something about tests. You know, we're not doctors, we're not experts, but we're going to give our anecdotal story and let people come and listen to other people. And because when we started to post our stuff on social media, we realized how many other people were resonating, because people all over the world are going through infertility. It's rising ridiculous amounts every year. So we've started this community. We launched it this week. I don't know where this is going to go out, but this week is when we've launched it, and we hope to help other people with our story.
Men and women, really importantly.
Exactly. What we found is when Eleanor was on these apps, that I was looking from as a bystander, going, there's not really any obvious support for men.
No.
And I was looking at all these communities Eleanor was going into, but she was going in and leaving, and I was like, I would love to create an environment which is like gentle and safe, but for both people,
for the team.
We like to call it the team, right? Not just the woman or just the man, but both. You know,
it's because you're in it together, aren't you?
It is a real team effort. Like if I had to do all my stuff, I had to change my lifestyle. I had to start, completely living my life a different way, and operations, all the stuff I've done. I'm still part of this. It's 50-50, right? It's sperm and egg. So as much as Eleanor has to do all the hard work in terms of like the hormones and the injections and the going under general anaesthetic and all that stuff I can't do, I feel a little bit helpless.
Yeah.
But there is still part of me which needs to change in order for us to get where we are now, which we have. We're going to hopefully share our story and help other people with Aloomah for sure.
That's incredible. But how do you feel doing Aloomah? Is it something that you feel open and ready to share information, or is it something you're like, oh, this is very personal, and if that makes sense, because it is a lot for you to share and go straight away, right, we're helping people, but then also, as much as you want to help people, there's a lot that you kind of probably want to keep just between the two of you because you've been through that together.
Yes and no, like some of it, but I think because I know how this journey has felt, and if we could just help even just one person like with a little bit of their journey, then it would be worth it. Like, and we will always be open and honest about every bit of our journey, because I think that is for some reason it's still such a taboo subject. And that's something we get a lot of messages about is, this isn't talked about enough, especially from the male perspective, because as a general rule, men don't really like to talk about that sort of thing. And I think it's really hitting home with like some of our posts. Like we're getting a lot of messages from guys who are like, I really needed to hear this. Like I haven't felt like I could go to anybody and talk about it. And we want this to be something that is talked about more, because it is so common. I don't understand why you're made to feel almost like embarrassed or shameful about it.
Yeah, for sure.
When it's wild how many people are going through it.
What's one thing that you think is really misunderstood about IVF or relationships?
IVF and relationships.
Yeah.
Oh God, just the toll it has. Like it can make or break you as a couple.
Yeah,
like
for
we
sure.
were very fortunate that this whole journey we were very close anyway, but this has brought us so much closer. We are such a team, even more than ever. But I totally understand like how it breaks some people, because it's fucking hard. Like it's, you know, it puts pressure on so many different aspects of your relationship. And, you know, it's, especially when things go wrong or they don't go the way you want them to, it's like, it's heartbreaking, and it changes you as people. And so, yeah, it's not for the faint-hearted. I think people sometimes think, we'll just have IVF. And it's like, no, it's not a magic wand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. I was going to say that.
And it isn't just the answer to everything, especially if there's undercurrents of things which aren't right, like with your egg or with your sperm or with your, you know, your womb, and you've got things to look at. You can't just expect it to work. Yeah. Which is why, like, the groundwork has to be put in before you start as well. So I think you need to prep.
No, for sure. Is there a memory that you from IVF that you look back and you actually laugh about and think, I can't believe, like, is it that you can't believe that would even happen, or you do, like, it's one of those things that you can't believe that they didn't even know what, they didn't even go into further research.
I think I wouldn't say laugh. I think was like not in that regard. But one thing I would say on the other side of the scale, I am just annoyed at, and again, not mention any names, but the fact that the first clinic we went to didn't do investigations on basic stuff that we found out on that one scan. Eleanor found out in 30 seconds. That could have saved us 2 years of heartbreak, 2 miscarriages. You know, something like so simple. And I feel like I honestly feel this, and this is just a personal opinion, but I feel like it is a business, right? Not as in, that's not my opinion. It is obviously a business, but I feel like some clinics, again, not mentioning any names, can treat it like a business. Yeah. And I've heard
like a number.
Treat it like a number. And at the end of the day, the clinics, and I've heard this said to me by other people in the industry, that a lot of the clinics look at it like it's like bingo. Like, you're gonna hit a full house at some point. Yeah. Just keep going at it.
Just have another go.
But the problem with that is it's so fucking expensive. Like, it's strained us massively financially over the last 5 years. And some people can't afford even one round. Yeah. You could set you back 10, 15 grand for one round. Like, it's crazy. And that's without any extra little test or anything you need. Yeah. But I can't believe that some of the things that we didn't get tested for early on were tested later.
I'm trying to think if any of it was funny.
No,
Yeah, it was probably.
Maybe some of my mood swings. Can we look back and laugh at that? Yeah.
Well, actually, the first round we did, when I have to go in my room and do the hard part and do my thing into a cup.
That's probably,
Right, I thought this is definitely happening first time. So I thought, what would be really funny is if I do a selfie with the baby in the pot. So I've got a picture on I've got a picture of the baby going, "This is you," like, and I was going to show the baby that, but obviously they didn't make it, so that isn't actually that funny, but it was funny at the time. It was funny at the time. I thought I was going to be able to show them their first ever picture before they've ever met the egg, and I thought that was hilarious, and it was like a nice room and had like pink lights and stuff. It was a nice backdrop.
Well, that was your funny moment.
Oh god,
that's about as funny as IVF gets, guys. Right? So take from that what you will.
And what do you hope for the future of IVF? Like, do you just? I mean, I guess you want, I don't know, them to be not you, that you don't want to just be a number, you know. But do you think it's going to go in a? Do you think it's going to get more? What's it called? More success. Like, do you think it will get a bigger success rate?
I want it to be more accessible.
I was literally going to say the same thing. I want it to be more accessible for everyone. Because at the moment, it's a postcode lottery. That depends on where you live. Depends on what the NHS will offer you. So where I live, in my postcode,
where you live.
where we live, the criteria,
I live with you.
The criteria is if you're over 35, you do not get anything.
Yeah.
But yet my friend who lives up north, and she was 40 when she had her first round, she got offered 1 or 2 free rounds.
Wow.
Some places you get 3 free rounds. It's
insane.
like, how is that fair? Like, it should be the same for everybody. And, you know, we're very fortunate. We've been able to fund ourselves, but for some people it's completely out of the question. So it's like, right, well, okay, so is that just our chances of having a family is scuppered because we can't afford to go privately? Like, how is that fair?
And then with Aloomah, what's your plan? What do you hope for?
I'll kick this one off.
Go on.
So we want to eventually, the long-term goal for Aloomah is we want to have an app which is accessible by everyone. To start with, we're going to start it with just an online platform with chat spaces. We're going to do weekly and monthly calls.
That's pretty exciting, that bit, though.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
That's
But we're gonna have this community built. So we're a community led. So we're gonna get feedback from the community, friends of friends who we know, like in sort of like immediate circle, to come in and give us feedback. What do you want to see? What do you want us to talk about? What do you want to learn? All these things. We've got already experts who've come onto the podcast who are going to talk about specific things like diet, like exercise, all these things we're going to dive into and really kind of hit home on all these different things that helped us on our way. But eventually the long-term goal is to get the feedback from the community online at the moment and then build an app purpose-built for the people who really are going through this journey, so we can hopefully help people for years to come.
And the podcast, obviously.
And the podcast is again another free resource where we're going to get guests on and talk to them about our journey as well, but also to speak about specific topics. That launches today, actually. So that's called No Straight Lines, and it's available on all platforms. It's me and Eleanor as hosts, but getting guests on. We've got a fertility...
Diving deep.
Yeah, we're diving deep on everything. We've got a resident dietitian. She's called Ro Huntress. She's an award-winning dietitian who specialises in fertility, nutrition and diet. Wow. So that's just one example. But we're going to be speaking to so many different people and just trying to create as much value for people. Whether you're thinking about starting for a family, in the middle of it, or thinking about giving up, there's going to be something in there for you.
Absolutely. Well, honestly, I think what you're doing is absolutely amazing. We're going to go to audience questions. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So obviously we have just got really deep with IVF, but they might go back from what we were talking about earlier. Okay. Best and worst moment on tour.
Best moment is playing at Elro in Barcelona at Sonar in 2016. Every single one of my friends was there. It was like a headline gig at probably the biggest party in the world.
Epic.
It was amazing, wasn't it? And it was probably the biggest show I've ever done. There was 4,000 or 5,000 people on the terrace, and it was absolutely amazing. So best moment. Worst moment on tour. God, that's hard to pick one.
Or whether you have an embarrassing moment or...
Many.
Yeah, I've got an embarrassing moment. It actually is Elro as well, but it was at Parklife in Manchester. And I'd just done this amazing set. Like, there was like 12,000 people in this stage. And the decks were wheeled off. So basically, when you play a big festival, everyone gets their own set. Like, the decks get wheeled off. The next person's decks get wheeled on. So they wheeled mine off. And I was buzzing behind. Everyone was doing shots of tequila. And I went, just because I was wanting to leave, I pulled my USB out. But the other guy hadn't put his music on yet. So the whole festival went off. And Dommy ran round, and I think that's why he doesn't talk to me anymore. He ran around and went, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh shit." So yeah, I completely shut down Parklife Festival for like 3 minutes. Sorry.
Oh god, that's awful. That is embarrassing.
Sorry, Dommy.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What's the best substance to take to get you through your own wedding?
Oof.
The sweat. You need some anti-sweat.
Oh right. It's anti-sweat or substance?
No, substance.
Yeah, substance.
Like it's a...
Like a drink?
No, babe, like a drug.
Oh.
Come on, get with it. Go on, you go first. I'll answer second.
Cocaine.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
Yeah, easy.
Although I just felt like I just felt sober throughout our whole wedding. I just didn't matter what I drank, just wasn't doing it for me. I think I was like running on adrenaline.
But also I thought I never want to get too drunk because I want to be able to remember everything.
Yeah.
And also whether you have sex on the wedding night, that's always a big topic. Because
we did, didn't we?
Yeah, I was going to say I'd want to.
I made
it's
you.
having that.
Yeah, she made me. I was obviously pretty high.
Like, we're doing it.
We were like, we got back. You know,
we're
this is happening.
consummating.
It was actually class as well, wasn't it? I thought I wasn't going to pull through, but I did.
You did.
I'm really proud of myself. That's probably one of my best moments on tour, actually, because I did have a gig. I was DJing my own wedding as well, so that was probably one of my biggest moments as well.
That's so funny. That's so good. Oh yeah, if you had your time again, would you have avoided the rave/DJ lifestyle for 7 years, or do you have no regrets?
Zero regrets. I had at the time that was my dream job. All I wanted to do was DJ and live this life of touring and just being immersed in the music industry. And I did it. I had my dream job. I remember being on the other side of the world, playing a sold out show to people coming to see me, and I was like, this is the dream. So now, as much as it was bad for my health for that period, I would never change a thing.
Yeah. And do you think your relationship would have survived if he was still on tour?
Oh, that's a really good question. Yes, I do, but I don't know how it would look, as we certainly wouldn't have been able to conceive a child if you were never here. So that's the difficult one. But yeah, always, we'd always said as well, if for whatever reason a family didn't happen, that each other would always be enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Is the IVF treatment painful?
Injecting yourself, no. You get used to it. Lots of bruises and stuff. But after egg collection, yes, that is quite painful. I was in bed for a week.
It felt like your inside was scratched, wasn't it?
It was like having a really horrendous period pain.
Yeah.
You can get really, really poorly from it, but if you get too inflamed. But no, it's more the side effects of the hormones.
Yeah, no, I bet.
Which aren't painful. It's just you're just
painful for my head though. It got pretty intense at times.
Yeah.
You inject yourself with hormones. How can it not?
You can be really angry 1 minute and then crying and then be like, oh, I feel great for 2 seconds and then it all changes again.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my God. And would you recommend for people to have fertility tests before they even consider trying for a baby?
Oh, no, you answer this one.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because you could have a low egg reserve and not know. You could have really terrible sperm and not know. So actually, maybe the basic tests you get from your GP, yeah.
And can you get that on NHS, the basic ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
Sperm analysis.
They do say you should wait 12 months before having any tests, but actually, how are they going to know?
No, you can just tell them.
You just tell them you've been trying for 12 months.
Obviously, maybe cut that bit out.
Yeah.
We're just skipping the NHS rules there. And just
Yeah.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to other men in this situation?
Talk.
Yeah.
Talking for me was one of the biggest helps. We didn't touch on it, but I've done all sorts of therapy. I've done CBT, I've done hypnotherapy, we've done counselling single, we've done counselling as a couple. Until I opened up, I didn't really alleviate any of the stress and the tension. And another reason why we started Aloomah is because there's a space in there. We've got an anonymous chat where people can come and just vent. I think as men, and I'm generalising here, but we do tend to bottle things up and try to, it's almost like a macho thing, and we try to kind of, it's our pride and stuff, but listen, the amount of things that we've gone through to get to where we are, there's no shame. We've had to go through all sorts of stuff, but I wouldn't change any of it. But yeah, to answer your question, I would say, just speak up, talk, whether it's to a friend, whether it's to a therapist, whether it's to a family member if you feel comfortable, or whether it's to someone in a chat space like Aloomah or another app, it doesn't matter what it is, just talk.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I wonder, what are you scared about parenthood, or are you...
No. We are so ready.
I'm buzzing now.
For all of it.
Yeah.
I think we've
Are you prepared then? Are you got everything sorted in the house?
Oh, no.
No. No.
We're getting there. We had the cot arrived yesterday, thanks to my mum. Thanks, Mum. She I hope she's not going to watch this anyway. Yeah. Mum. I just stamped me mum. Mum, tune in to listen to me talk about doing ketamine. There's a plan. We've got the nursery. So where my office is, we've got everything in terms of like where it's going to go. We picked our wardrobe up on Sunday, which is going to go in the nursery.
Yeah.
We know
what it's going to look like.
The wallpaper, everything.
Jackie's office needs to our house is on 3 floors, so his office is going to go into the spare room, and then
I'm getting shooed off.
You're getting shooed out. Yeah. But I used to be a nanny. So I was a nanny for like 10 years, so I know how to like do like the basics and stuff, and also all of our friends have kids. And so, no, we're ready.
Yeah.
We're ready. As ready as you can be.
What scares you the most about having a child?
Oh, God, how much I'm going to love it and want to just, like, sellotape it to myself and not let it out of my sight.
And do you think you'll be open with the fact that you've gone through IVF? With
Definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
I think it's important. Listen,
they need to be reminded about how
special they are.
I was going to say how much debt that they're in already.
They've got a very, very large negative bank balance already. That's getting replenished as soon as they become stars in whatever they are going to be stars in. But we watched that film the other day about IVF, about how it was created and the scientists involved in that. Honestly, you got to watch it. It's on Netflix. It is amazing. And when you understand the miracle of life and how precious it is, I want to shout that from the rooftops. And again, that's why we all do an Aloomah. But when it comes to our baby, when they start to get to a point where they can understand, I'm 100% telling them everything. I think it's so special.
Miracle.
Amazing.
If it wasn't for IVF, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
Yeah, but also how amazing that you've now got a platform as well, like Aloomah, that you've been posting about your journey, and the fact that they can go and watch that, and see that and think, wow, what a journey, and
we've documented everything. Like from the very beginning of our journey, really, all the hospital trips and, me injecting myself. Like we have all of this like in our phone. Like it's great to be able to have like all of that in your phone. And document it. We've got a beautiful book as well that I've been doing.
I'm just so excited for you. I've got you a gift for coming on the show. So if you just open that.
The drawer?
Yeah. And then if you just grab that.
She's going to struggle to lean forward, Tatiana. I'll hold you. Don't worry. I've got you.
Perfect. So I've got you a little baby's outfit. Daddy's little squirrel.
That's amazing.
I love it.
So I hope you enjoy.
That's amazing.
Honestly, I genuinely can't thank you enough for coming on. And your story is so amazing, so powerful, and it's been tough. And I just feel horrendous that you've had to go through this. But I'm so thankful, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Honestly, little boy or girl, they're going to be so happy in your family.
They're going to be happy in that.
Yeah.
So happy and loved.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you so much. This is Jacky and Eleanor, everybody.
Thank you.